Hey y'all, today is the day that I'm going to start my winter sowing for this season. I have my milk jugs collected, my water jugs collected. They are prepared, they are labeled, and it's go time. So let's get to it. For those of you who aren't aware of what winter sowing's all about, it is a method of starting your seeds in milk jugs, water jugs, just some kind of container. You put potting soil in it, put your seeds in there, close them up, and just put them out in the elements. Leave them outside. The rain will water them. The snow will water them. It's pretty much, it's not exactly hands-off, but it's a very easy way to start your seeds. First of all, you just use recycled containers, things that you already have, like water jugs or milk jugs, which I always have plenty of. I just begin saving these so I can use them to sow my seeds. You just put regular potting soil in there. You don't have to worry about seed starting mix or anything like that. And you put your seeds in there on the soil and close them up, leave them outside, and when it's time for the seeds to germinate and for nature to do its thing, it does. There's a lot of science and stuff behind it, but it really doesn't matter if you don't know anything about the actual reason that the seeds germinate, because I don't. I just put the seeds in here, and when it's time for them to germinate and grow, they do. The only thing that I have to do is make sure that the soil doesn't dry out, and that's pretty easy. But the first thing we have to do is prepare our containers. So this is a clip of how I prepared my containers this year. This is how you get your jugs ready for winter sowing. All you need is a milk jug, a water jug, just some kind of container that'll hold soil and let sunshine go through there. You have to put holes, drain holes in the bottom of the container, and you have to cut it almost all the way in half, but leave a hinge so you can open the lid. In the end, it will look like this. See, I cut it and just left it attached right there. And for the holes, usually I just put holes with like a blade like this and cut some holes in it. But I saw online where people were using like a wood burning tool to put holes in it. And I went to Dollar General and purchased a wood burning tool and put holes in the bottom, some drain holes in the bottom using that method. And it is so easy. I'm going to show you now. Just be careful not to burn yourself. But here's the wood burning tool, and you just stick it to the plastic, and it burns a hole in it that easy. And that quickly. And I just put enough holes in it to where I think that it will drain well. You just don't want the container to hold on to so much water that it drowns your little seedlings. I'm gonna put one right there too, and maybe right there. And that'll do it. To cut it around, let me put the blade right under the handle. Be sure don't cut yourself, because that would hurt. Although I'm sure I've done it in the past. You could always use scissors if you wanted to. Now my container is ready for the soil. The main reason that I like winter sowing over other seed starting methods is because it's so easy. It's just terribly easy. You don't have to have a lot of space inside your house. You don't have to have any space inside your house. You don't have to have grow lights. We're using the sun. You don't have to water your seeds every day. They are kind of housed in this container, so it sort of acts like a mini greenhouse, so they don't dry out as quick as they do like when you're starting them in your house under some grow lights. When the seeds germinate and the little seedlings begin to grow, you don't have to worry about what you call hardening off your seedlings. If you were growing your seeds in the house under some grow lights, when it comes close to time for you to be able to set your seedlings out in the elements, you have to do what they call hardening off your seedlings, which is taking them from inside the house to outside for an hour a day for a couple of days, then for a couple of hours a day for a couple of days. And that's a lot of transferring all this stuff in and out of your house. And Lord forbid, if you forget and leave your seedlings outside all night long, you could lose them all. But with this method, you don't have to do that. The seedlings are hardier, they're stronger, they're more resilient than the little seedlings that you grow in your house. They've been out in the elements their whole lives. They are used to the temperatures, they are used to the sun, and that just makes for a hardier, sturdier seedling. This method is an inexpensive way to start your seeds. You don't have to purchase grow lights. You don't have to purchase, the little seed trays. You don't have to purchase special seed starting mix. This is just regular old potting soil. And I really find that it's the way to go. Now, some of the seeds that you can rest assured are going to do really well with this method are perennials. Anything on the seed packet that says that the seed will self-sow in the garden, that's a good one. Really, you can do vegetable seeds this way, annual seeds this way. Just know that when it's time for the seeds to germinate and grow, they do. They will. Winter sowing is not necessarily a jump start to getting your seeds to grow, because you're not actually like applying heat to it and tricking them into thinking that, oh, the temperature has warmed up outside significantly, it's time to start growing. It's not like that. This is just a method to get them to growing. They may think that it's a little bit warmer in this little miniature greenhouse, but not like as if they were sitting in your house in a 70-degree room. They'll kind of grow on their own time, which makes them hardier and easier when you plant them out. Today I have about 22 jugs that I'm going to set out, and in this batch that I'm doing today, I have perennials, I have some cool season flowers that do better in the cooler months. Like today I'm going to start larkspur. Now this is a seed that you can just direct sow out into your flower bed. But I prefer to winter sow it because I can see the little seedling when it comes up in this jug and not mistake it for a weed. If I were to see a little seedling come up in my flower bed in the spring, I might think that it's a weed. I may not remember having had larkspur in that area last year. And, if the flower self-seeded itself into my flower bed, I probably don't know what that little seedling looks like, and when I'm weeding in that flower bed in the spring, I'll probably pull it up. So this method, I will have my seedlings. I'll be able to identify, oh, well, that's coneflower. So you know what it is, and you can put it out into your garden where you want it to be. Another thing, if you were to direct sow the seeds out there in the flower beds, little birds could get them. Squirrels could get them. You know, you may sow a bunch of them and only 2 or 3 come up in the spring. And this way, they're all right here in the jug. You can see how many you have, and then that way you can kind of plan where you want to put them in your landscape. It's just a really good idea. Y'all ought to try it. So the first one that we're going to sow today is larkspur. I have it labeled on the outside, and I have made little tags to put on the inside also. So what you do is, it's chilly out here. The only thing about starting seeds is that it's messy. It's kind of messy, so it's really not something that I can do in my house because I make a big old mess everywhere. And I don't have a greenhouse or like a shop or anything that I can, a heated area that I can do this, so where I can make a big old mess. So I'm just gonna have to do it real quick before I get too cold. Okay, I put the potting soil in here. It's moist. I'm putting the label inside. Now here are the seeds. I wonder how many are in here. Larkspur is an annual, and it comes up early in the spring. And it's one of the first things to flower. Ooh, these seeds are tiny. Look at here. They're about the size of a mustard seed. This package doesn't tell me. Oh, it says to plant it 1/4 of an inch. So I am just going to kind of sprinkle these seeds across this soil. Can you see that? These seeds might be bigger than a little speck of pepper, but not much. When the seeds come up, I'm putting about half the pack in this, on top of this soil right here. They probably will not all germinate, but if they do, if this whole container is just full of little larkspur seedlings, when it comes time to plant these out, I don't have to separate the seedlings. I can just take a little chunk of the seedlings and put them in the ground, and they'll take care of themselves. They themselves will decide which ones get to grow and which ones are going to get to flower. So, all right, I did that, and now I have, this is just water. And I am just going to spray some water on the top of these little seeds to make sure that they have moisture. I'm gonna close it. I don't have any tape to put on here. A lot of people will, you know, tape it up around there. I don't have any tape out here with me. So I'm just gonna tuck the lid in to the bottom, kind of like you tuck your shirt into your pair of pants. And that's it. See, it has drain holes in the bottom, so you can see that the potting soil was pretty moist, so it has some dripping out. So, very good, very good. Now, I might come out here later with some tape when I find my tape and actually put some tape on these things, or I might not. I'm probably just gonna leave them like this. I think this is how I did it last year. I don't think I taped anything last year. So then if you do have to add some water to your jugs through the season while they're growing, it's not such a big deal to have to rip the tape off. You just open it up. And that's pretty much all it is to it. So I'm just gonna get busy and do the rest of these 21 jugs. Oh my Lord, I didn't get them all done. It got too cold and my hands were freezing. So I'll get the rest of them done tomorrow. I got 7 jugs done out of the 22. So I'm excited about that. Today is January the 25th. I think last year I didn't start until sometime in February, and it doesn't matter when you start. You just do it in the wintertime and you'll be good to go. You'll have some hardy seedlings come springtime. And then hopefully by the summertime, you'll have some pretty flowers, or some pretty plants anyway. Anyway, that's it. If y'all found this video helpful, or if maybe you learned something, drop a comment below. Let me know if you plan to winter sow. Like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.